Series, trailing the series 2-1 to our Sox. Coco Crisp is going to lead it off, and it's Sam Fuld in right field with Josh Donaldson. Johnny Gomes. Derek Norris, usual catcher, is DHing today with Jed Lowry, Nate Fryman, Giovanni Soto, the former Cub, and Alberto Callasco rounding it out. The defense and how they'll line up behind Chris Sale. Michael Taylor, Adam Eaton, and Avisaíl Garcia. Avi, the hero of last night's game. But Connor Gillespie, Marcus Semien, Carlos Sanchez, and Jose Abreu in the infield. Tyler Flowers of the 2 home run Flowers in the opener of this 4-game series. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Chris Sale. Looking for his 12th win, and this is 24th start. 183 strikeouts and 155 innings, just 32 walks. Control has been magnificent. Left-handers, well, you might as well sit on the bench because you're not going to do much against him. The umpires for the game this afternoon. C.B. Buckner behind the plate. Dan Iasoni is at first. Dale Scott, the crew chief, is at second. And Quinn Wolcott is at third. So Robin, with his ball club, trying to play the role of a spoiler. And they'll have ample opportunity with 7 left against Kansas City and 3 left with the Tigers. And his counterpart, Bob Melvin, who's a great manager who's seen his team fall on hard times offensively. They've had all kinds of problems scoring runs. But Bob Melvin knows his business. He's kept his team close to the top most of this year, and now it's a question. He will not win the division. Can he hang on in the wild card? And Chris Sale will have something to say about that. So they've thrown the ball around the infield, which means we're ready to play baseball. And I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Steve. Thank you very much. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for the finale of this 4-game set. In the 4th of the 7-game homestand. Starting tomorrow, we'll have 3 with Minnesota. So here's Coco Crisp. Coco, 3 for 14 in the series. Comes in hitting at .259. 9 homers and 45 knocked in. And first pitch misses. He's hitting at .247 as a club with a 3.27 team ERA. And the count 1-1. Last 29 games the A's have played, they have won 9 of them.
Well, it's been a monumental collapse, and the bad news for Oakland is that Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim have been one of the hottest teams in all of baseball. They've won 7 games in a row.
Funny thing about when that last 29 game streak started, they were 72 and 44.
A lot of people at that point were calling them the best team in baseball.
That's chop foul.
Not so much anymore.
And at that time, they were the best team in baseball. They had the best record in baseball. But numbers in baseball can be so misleading, as we all know. Let me rephrase this. Most of us know. Outfield slightly to the right. And he walks the wrong man. He is 19 for 23 in stolen bases.
In the West, this is how it used to look. With the Athletics 4 games up on the Angels. That was through August 9th. Today, the Angels at 90 and 55, 9-game lead. With the Athletics, a 1.5 lead in the wild card over the Tigers in Seattle. Knocking at the door. 22 and 7 for the Angels. Quite a run in their last 29.
And this game also, as for the season series, as that's fouled back on the attempted bunt by Sam Fuld. For the season series victory, we've played them 6 times this year, and we have split them. Ball 3 for 12 with 3 RBIs in the series, hitting at .248. There's a pop up. And 1 out.
You can't blame Sam Fuld for trying to lay one down, because the left-handers against Chris Sale, over the course of his career, the left-handers have fared very poorly.
Well, there's an old saying about tough left-handers. If they're that hard to hit, sometimes they're even tougher to bunt. So here's Donaldson, hitting it .257, 26 homers, 93 driven in, 6 for 15. 5 of those hits, I should say, coming in game 2. That ball's hit hard, but we got a man there. 2 down.
That 1 pitch, 1 out makes up for the extended at bat by Coco Crisp. Here's a guy who loves to hit first ball fastballs. And a game plan against Chris Sale, because very few people hit his good slider. Even fewer people hit his good changeup. So although his fastball is tough to hit, that's the one you have to try to pick out.
Well, just do the math.
If you can't hit the other 2, you got to be left with just 1.
And that's what good hitters, not all of them, but majority of good hitters do. They try to eliminate a pitch, maybe 2 against a certain guy who's very tough. Then their thought process will be, I can't beat him on that slider unless he hangs it. I can't beat him on that changeup unless he hangs it. So what does that leave me, Hawk? That means you got to get him on his fastball.
You don't get him most of the time. He'll roll a couple of sliders, but not too often.
That's what the great Ted Williams used to do. When he found out I was pitching for the opposition that day, he'd try in his own mind to eliminate 1 pitch. There's a strike. That's exactly the thinking that a strong right-handed hitter has got to make on Chris Sale. Verbatim. So what do I have to do if I can't beat him on a slider, being a strong right-handed hitter?
Well, take away the slider, you move back off the plate.
That's right.
Because you're not going to hit it down and in. That's a back foot slider that's absolutely unhittable. So you look out over the plate, and if you're a right-hand hitter, you think about right field, right center.
That's it. That's exactly the process.
And if he makes a mistake, and he will occasionally, then you got him.
Especially with a changeup, if he makes a mistake and gets it from the middle in a little bit, because you're thinking right and right center, you're liable to hit it out of the ballpark to left center.
That actually was a strike and wasn't called, and that's the biggest problem when you see for the first time Sale's slider. It has to come over the plate to strike. You can see it just touched on the Menards pitch track, the inside corner.
And CB telling our dugout it was inside. I don't think so. But here's the payoff pitch. He gone. Doubled him up. And after half inning of play, it's their guys nothing and the good guys coming to bat.
Speed, Diane Viciedo, Michael Taylor in left field, Tyler Flowers behind the plate, Marcus Simeon hitting ninth and playing shortstop. The defense and how they'll line up behind Kazmir. It's Gomes, Crisp, and Fuld in the outfield with Donaldson, Lowry, Callasco, and Fryman in the infield. The former Cub, Giovanni Soto, behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Scott Kazmir on for his 29th start. This the best year he's ever had in the major leagues at 14-7.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. First pitch strike from the 30-year-old southpaw.
There was a time when he could rush it up there, 96, 97 miles an hour. Those days are gone.
Ball hits sharply. Meanwhile, 1 out.
Gasner originally drafted #1 by the New York Mets, 15th pick overall in 2002. Later traded to Tampa Bay and spent a whole lot of time in the ensuing years on the disabled list. Was 12-8 for the Rays back in 2008. Last year, for him, a resurrection year after battling through 3 minor league cities. He was 10-9 with the Indians.
One-0 pitch to Sanchez. Hitting at 294. Sox come in hitting at 254 as a team with a 4.36 ERA. Ball. 2 down. And let's check out our picks to click. Tim Anjo, our director of recruitment with Abbasiel. Steve's going with Tyler Flowers and all the servicemen and women around the world serving our country and first responders. We're going to go with Marcus Semien. So here's Abreu hitting at 317, 33 homers and 99 driven in.
Gasner has a good straight change. He has an overhand curveball and a fastball that he has to spot.
Can't get it in the count 2-1. Well, as a rule, always exceptions to the game of baseball, but in general, as a rule, when a guy has resurrected his career, a pitcher who was a hard thrower, usually it's because of the changeup.
He doesn't have a big gas anymore. He really doesn't have a choice.
No. Well, Frank Tanana was an exception. Frank did it with a slow curveball. He would change speeds on that curveball. Because when he first came up, he was about as good a looking left-hander as you ever want to see. He was throwing 97, 98, 92 mile an hour slider. Since that's how to play right side.
No, and his reemergence as not only a serviceable pitcher, but he actually was an exceptional pitcher even in the days when he completely lost his fastball, because he had pinpoint control and a huge slow slider.
And he would spot his fastball. That's into right field. Fall is there. So Casimir with the 1-2-3, and after 1, no score.
He wants to play a couple more games. He probably will be able to do that, and hopefully they're great ones to match what he's given the Sox over the years. You know yourself, having experienced a few broken bones in your hand. Number one, it's not too comfortable when you come back. Number two, it's not too easy.
You can only take so much cortisone.
Oh, then it's how much pain can you suck up?
That's it. Well, I know where Paul's coming from as far as wanting to play again. I wanted to do the same thing after I broke my leg and my ankle. I wanted to have one last at bat, and I wanted it to be at Fenway Park. And so I was with Cleveland. We go to Boston, and I wanted to hit the last game of the series. I wanted to pinch hit, and we got rained out.
Hell.
So I left from there to go out to Denver, to go to Saratoga, Wyoming, and work with Bob Toski. Do a little fishing, trout fishing. As Norris takes it off the corner, and the count's 3-1. Norris 6 for 14 in the series. But he wants to get that last at bat and preferably get a base hit.
I think he'd like to play a couple of games. I think he'll be able to do that.
You'd certainly like to end your career on a base hit. I started my career with a strikeout and ended my career with a strikeout.
I started mine with a walk and ended it by walking out. That was it.
Foul tip, turn on 2 by Tower. He gone. 1 out.
Chris spots a fastball. Norris gets just a piece of it, sticking in Flowers' glove.
Lowry 3 for 12 with a homer. In this series, comes in hitting at .247, 6 homers and 45 knocked in.
There's a look at Paul. What a presence he's been in the clubhouse all these years. But the presence on the field. He made himself just an excellent first baseman. He could certainly always hit. I'm not sure he quite realizes yet what it's going to be like when you can no longer put on the uniform and the camaraderie that you get when you're a member of the team as opposed to when you're not, even if you stop back in the locker room. That's not easy.
There's a rolling slider and slammed into left field. So that's first hit of the ball game.
That ball actually was inside off the plate by the time that Lowry hit it. But it wasn't one of Chris's better sliders that bites down and in.
Nate Fryman, 6'8", 250 pounds, 1 for 8 in this series, and 2 for 6 lifetime off Chris.
He's the original good man for 2.
Takes the fastball strike.
And so far, and again, it's very early in this game, Chris doesn't have the real good feel for the straight change. It's going to come to him. When it does, he's going to be much tougher and won't have to rely on as many sliders.
Another strike. Well, Paulie's made his commitment. So as far as playing the game, I don't think he'll miss it one bit. But what he will miss, and I was the same way. I had made him a commitment. I was going to retire. And I never missed playing after that one bit. But I missed all the BS in the clubhouse. And that's what he'll miss.
When you start and you're a very little person, you put on a uniform, you're a member of a team, there's a certain camaraderie that comes with people wearing that same uniform. Paul has worn it since he was a little child, like all of us did at one point, and then one day you have to take it off. And it won't be the play and the pain and the pressure and everything else, but it will be being a member of a very exclusive club.
Another pretty good pitch right there. Did not get it.
Do you see eventually he will wend his way back to the game after a hiatus of indeterminate length?
I have no clue. I have no clue. I know that he would have the opportunity if he wanted it. But, you know, the game in that respect has really changed a lot because, you know, Paulie's made an awful lot of money playing this game.
Oh, it'll never be financial considerations with him.
So, that being the case, and would he want to come back as a coach? I don't think so.
How about a wonderful advisor because he knows the game?
That's a different story.
And he can recognize hitters for sure.
That's a different story.
And that might be a great thing, is allowing him to take a look at the young hitters, check for the areas of concern, check for
what Jim Tomey's
what they
doing
do
now.
well. Yeah.
He gone. Gas, 95, 2 down. Well, that'd be a pretty good twosome right there. Over 1,000 home runs between the two of them. Have them checking out our minor league hitters and being real tight buddies. Travel around together a little bit, evaluate hitters, talk them over. As Soto can't get it. Giovanni Soto.
That was a straight change. Now Soto came up, was a Rookie of the Year with the Cubs. Then he started to pull everything. He was originally a right center field hitter. As I watched him in the minor leagues, did a little evaluation on him, and he was a 270 some hitter and hit the ball to right center field. Looked like he was going to be a contact hitter. All of a sudden, magically, he became a power hitter.
Well, if you're going to be a successful pull hitter in the major leagues, you're not going to do it from where he stands in the box.
Got a touch of a wide open stance, and he is off the plate.
That's not going to work if you're going to be a pull hitter. If you're going to be a pull hitter, you better be on top of that plate. Two. He gone. Change up. A beauty. And after an inning and a half, no score. And here's what happened last night. The 8th inning, we were trailing 1-0. Bases loaded.
And Gregerson hung a breaking ball inside. That was after an intentional walk to Gillespie to load him up. McKee was laying off the first slider away, and then he got one to his liking on a hanging breaking ball, and that was it. Jake Petrichka came on and nailed it down with some excellent stuff. He had a 1-2-3 ninth. He went through Dunn, Reddick, and Norris. They didn't get the ball out of the infield.
No, he went through them easy. Two-one pitch. Ball's going to run out of room.
And he's not going to know it until he's in the seats. This ball slicing away. He knows how close he is and then braces himself. Comes away with no problem.
Well, it's amazing the impact Torrey Hunter had on outfield play. And I say this very, very complimentary. Torrey has a lot of showmanship. And fans love that. And other players really like it too. They won't admit it a lot of times. But he was one of the guys who absolutely defined highlight reels. Going up, hanging over the wall from the waist, making spectacular catches. And outfielders, especially since Torrey Hunter, have all developed a little showmanship.
That's why I love, not as a pitcher, but as a fan and a spectator, I love the 8-foot wall because your outfielders can go up over it and make spectacular catches.
There's ball 4. I think that, well, not obviously in Fenway because that's history right there. That's lore, baseball lore, the monster.
You're not taking that to 8 feet anytime soon.
No, that 37-foot wall is a little too high. But here's Gillespie. But I love 8-foot walls just for that reason. Obviously, as a hitter, you love them because you can hit line drive. I don't care how far back they are. You can hit line drives out of there. Connor 1 for 7 in the series. Connor hitting at .291, 7 homers, and 51 driven in. And we have a very special guest at the top of the 3rd inning.
We have a guy that could make an 8-foot wall
look small.
Very small.
Yeah. I will never ever forget a man playing basketball and trying to get his team to the playoffs with plantar fascia. Plantar fascia and playing basketball, those two things don't go together, and he did it. I couldn't believe it. That ball into left center field. Watch out. Coco makes the catch, hangs on to it. And you got to know Coco Crisp was calling for it.
Yeah, Johnny Gomes decided not to give way. And in a collision between Crisp and Gomes, almost without exception, Gomes is going to win this. And fortunately for the Athletics, Crisp not only was unhurt, but actually held on to the baseball.
So here's Tank. Tank hitting at .233, 20 homers and 55 knocked in. 1 for 8 in this series with a homer. And against Kazmir, he's 1 for 5, and that one hit left the premises. There's a rocket right to him, and Ivy gets back in. So that's the hang with him.
This is right at Donaldson. He doesn't have to do too much. He does get it across, but heads up base running by Garcia because he really doesn't have much of a chance to get a secondary lead on a rocket, and keeps hitting alive by getting back.
There's Michael Taylor. Michael 1 for 4 in the series. Michael, a big man, 6'5", 255 pounds. Yeah, our guest is a guy who played at the University of Florida, and I'm a Seminole fan, but yet when they were running for the thing, I was pulling for him so hard just because of the way this guy played the game. He played the game of basketball the way George Brett played the game of baseball.
Not much has changed.
No. There he goes. And the ball into center field. So a stolen base, that's his second.
Avi liked it so much last night in the 5th inning, decided to go at it again. And I said last night, I think we're going to see more and more of this. He's got great speed. He's got to learn the technique, reading pitchers. And this time, with Callaspo, thinking about the sliding Garcia, maybe his size, he decided that he would live to fight another day and let that ball wander into center field.
Up high. 2-2. 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here in the bottom of the 2nd inning, no score if you're just tuning in. Change up, and that'll do it. Joakim Noah coming up next.
But the fact that your mother is leading the way in the foundation, tell us a little bit about it and what it is you would like our fans to do to get involved.
Well, Chicago is one of the best cities in the world and a great sports culture. And I love it here. This is going to be my 8th year here, living here. And it's a great place, and it's also a place that has a lot of violence in some of the communities. And with my mother, we decided that creating a foundation was something that was very important to her and to me. My mom's an art therapist. She does art with the kids. I'm a basketball player, but we're trying to do as much positive as we can in the neighborhoods and bring as much awareness as possible and do something to change this problem.
How can all the people watching today and people that know the people that are watching today get involved in what you're trying to accomplish?
You can go on my website, noahsarkfoundation.org, and we're all trying to come together and find solutions. We don't know all the answers, but I think that it's important to use this platform to do something positive here in Chicago.
Well, certainly a worthy goal, and hopefully you get a whole lot of people get involved either financially or with their time, whatever it takes. But before we let you go, one of the things that I have to comment on, being a former athlete, you being a present athlete, is from the time I watched you in college till today, I have never seen you even 1 minute of any game give anything less than 100% of whatever you have on a given night. Some nights are better than others, but the one thing you can control is hustle. You epitomize that. You bring an intensity to each and every game that I hope all of the youngsters who will watch you not only this year but every year, wherever your career takes you, learns from that example, because that's all we can control, is letting it all there out on the court.
Thank you so much. It means a lot. And, I just want to use that same energy and that same passion towards my foundation that we created with our mother and have people come together, and that's just as big as winning a championship to me. But this is a very exciting year, and I'm hoping that the momentum that I have with my foundation and the momentum that we're going to have with the season all gel together, and we do something positive.
Well, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate everything you do, and we hope you beat everybody this year. Let's beat the LeBrons.
I like that. I like that. I love that.
Thank you.
First pitch strike to Sam Fold.
That's a rather large fellow.
I'll tell you what, I've been a fan of his ever since the first game I saw him play. And I've seen him play a lot of games, obviously at University of Florida. And with our Bulls, there's a guy who never dogs it. Not one time. He gone. And we'll go to the bottom of the third. Still no score. I'm eating. Tyler, the hero in game one. 2 out, bottom of the 9th inning. Trailing 4-3. He homers to tie it. 12th inning, he homers to win it. 5-4. Tyler, 14 homers, 47 knocked in. There's the strike.
That last fastball, a good fastball, catching the whole plate, low and in.
Had a piece of the corner.
Soto wanted it inside again in the last 7. Tyler, he's hit 5 home runs, driven in 7, and hitting a robust .385.
One out. Second strikeout for Kazmir.
Corey Kluber won his ball game today. That was the first of a doubleheader in Cleveland. They beat the Twins 8-2. Kluber 15-9 with an ERA of .245 and a whole lot of strikeouts.
Well, he struck out 13 of us in one of his outings in Cleveland. They had a lead, he left, and we came back and won it. So he's been a little tough luck himself this year. He's one of the best in the game. He has become one of the best in the game.
He went 8 1/3, struck out 7, didn't walk anybody. And they'll play another one.
Well, you just got to figure that Mickey Callaway has done such an unbelievable job turning that staff around. That's 2 out. And we go back to the top of the order with Adam. Grounded out to short, but he hit the ball hard.
Adam has not been doing a lot of this, but if he drags a bunt with Fryman back as far as he is, now coming in a little bit, but he's not the most athletic of first basemen, being as big as he is, they're not going to be able to get him. See Fryman now moving back. And left-handers, almost without exception, fall off the mound to the third base side. Very susceptible to a drag bunt.
One and one to count. That's popped up left side. Gomes. Meanders underneath it, makes the catch. 1-2-3 inning, and we have completed 3 scoreless. This was 6 strikeouts through 3. Pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
Donaldson has been pulling most everything in this series. Just took a little something off the fastball, and for him, taking something off is 92, but he threw it right down the middle and got the strike.
Nice one-handed catch by one of the fans on the carom from the mezzanine down to the lower bowl. He gone. Change up.
We talked earlier in the ball game that changeup, very difficult to get a good feel in the first inning and sometimes through 2 innings. But last inning he started throwing the outstanding changeup, which is the same arm speed as his fastball, the same release point as his fastball, and low and away, right-hand hitters have 0 chance on that changeup unless he gets it up. So far, both left-handers with contrasting styles, both equally as effective. Chris has given up the only hit. 7-3 in strikeouts. Of course, it doesn't pay off on that. Pays off in the run column, and there's zeros around.
High pop up. Carlos. Two down. And join us tomorrow at 7:10 as our Sox take on the Twins. And the first 20,000 fans ages 21 and over will receive a White Sox Irish flat cap presented by Miller Lite. Also, enjoy our post-game fireworks presented by Miller Lite. It's not just a good time. It's Miller time. Miller Lite, official beer of your Chicago White Sox.
They are fine looking caps.
They are good looking caps. Let me get me one.
Good embroidery.
I'm over 21.
And you can wear it playing golf.
There's a strike. Norris struck out swinging on a good fastball.
Chris has got 190 strikeouts. Pretty much assured of going over the 200 mark.
Ball hit hard. Get down. It will. Right back on the track is Michael Taylor. Sinking line drive by Norris. Meanwhile, a 1-2-3 inning, and after 3.5.
Second time through the order. Let's see if the boys have a better look at Kazmir.
One pitch. One out. Sanchez, first time up, fouled out to Sam Fuld in right field. Here's Abreu. He flied to Fuld in right. So, 2 pitches, 2 outs.
That ball was up and out over the plate. Fortunately for Kazmir, a little higher than Jose would have wanted it.
That'll bring up Avi. Avi, our only base runner, he walked leading off the second. And then stole second, went to third on the throwing error by Norris, picking up his second stolen base.
Do you ascribe to the theory you never let a pitcher get out in 3 pitches? You take at least one?
No.
If you like it, you go at it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's according to who the hitter is. If you got a little punch and Judy up there, yeah. Take a pitch, whatever. When you get a powerful guy like Garcia or Abreu or somebody like that, especially on a day like today. If it's 100 degrees, that might change the story a little bit.
Well, this is very much like Oakland weather. Kazmir is not going to run out of gas. Either is Chris Sale.
1-2 the count.
Well, the big problems for Oakland is that their closer, Sean Doolittle, has been unable to pitch. But the news out of the Oakland camp is that they expect him to be ready to go tomorrow. And that'll be pretty good news for them because he was having a very good year.
You can cancel the post-game show because that's our first hit.
This one was on the inside part of the plate. Our Honda pit tracks will show you that he just went out and got it. Took it right back up the middle, just about the same spot that his line drive went through to win the ball game last night.
Anaheim now with a 9-game lead over these Athletics.
And all of this accomplished after losing their #1 starter. But they've got some thunder, even though Josh Hamilton's shoulder is not allowing him to do much. The rest of those guys have really picked up the slack, led by Mike Trout in his MVP candidacy year.
1-1 to count. Well, sometimes an injury like that to Garrett Richards will bring the club together. Most of the time, it's very hurtful and bad for your record. But sometimes guys just band together, and it gives them a little bit of a common bond.
They haven't missed a step, not one step. 47 and 24 at home. Most amazing.
Well, that's what clubs look for. Subconsciously, common bond. It's tough to win without one. When you get 25 guys on the club and you got 25 guys going in 25 different avenues and roads, it's not going to work most of the time unless they're so talented that it doesn't make any difference. But when a club gets a common bond, and they come along all the time, the trick is grabbing a hold of one and holding on to it. That's up high. For years, the Atlanta Braves had a common bond, so to speak, with their pitching. Their pitchers wanted to top you. Every time somebody went out there, the next guy went out there, they wanted to do better than the guy preceding him.
They had a huge advantage in that Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddox didn't get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
They kept on going out there each and every day. Avery was very good for a while. Then they brought up Millwood, who was good, before trading him off for some financial constraints.
Well, that's one of the most interesting subjects, though. This never talked about too much in baseball or in sports is a common bond. That's popped up. Donaldson making the call, has the ball in foul ground, and that'll retire the side. But we do get our first hit. We'll go to the fifth. Still no score. Back in 2000 that it brought the club together, galvanized the club, and it gave them a common bond. Another common bond that I've seen several times in my career in this game, not to mention the club or the manager's name, but the guy was such a bad manager that the club would have meetings, players only, no coaches or managers, and say, hey, we got to get together and play over this guy. And they did, and they won.
Sometimes they did it with good managers.
Oh, sure.
Where the players said, look, there's certain things he doesn't like to do. We know how to win. We will do them. And to the pitching staff, they would tell the staff, hold us close. We'll win the game late.
That's a common bond.
Yeah.
And another common bond outside of sports, as far as we're concerned, was look what the JRW kids did for us. Look what they did for us. They gave us a common bond.
That was just terrific.
One of the great cities in the world is high into center field. It's been going through hell lately with everything and shootings and killings and guns. They gave us a common bond where everybody got under the same umbrella and everybody followed them. And there was no thoughts of politics or color or anything. It was baseball. It was these kids gone out there and played the game and became United States Little League champions.
What I love is in the event that you were the master of ceremonies of, people came from many states just to be there and celebrate with those kids the accomplishment that they did. And they came from Indiana, they came from Michigan, and they came from Wisconsin. They might not have had any thought of watching Little League baseball until this story, and those kids really galvanized all the people to watch, to cheer for them, to root for them, coming out of the losers bracket, defeating the team that beat them to send them in the losers bracket, and then representing them in the final game.
Well, it was the way they played it. And that shows leadership. That shows what can be done. It was the leadership from the coaches, from the parents, from the grandparents, that these kids got out there, did things the right way, and just brought everybody together. I've never seen, as that's popped up, Chris getting out of there.
That's a good plan. Normally pitchers like to hang around a bit and direct traffic. But Chris decided too many guys converging on the mound. I will get out of the way and allow Connor Gillespie to take it.
You know, before you went out on the stage at the rally there at Pritzker Pavilion, I was talking with Theo, Jed Hoyer, and they had asked me about our club, and I said, well, I've never seen a baseball team that in between innings was running up to see what was going on as much as ours did. Theo said, well, our club was doing the same thing. So everybody was involved and engulfed in that common bond. 0-2 the count to Soto, who struck out on a good changeup. Breaking ball down. Change up misses. So a full count with 2 down here in the top of the 5th inning. Good rip by Soto. A little upset with himself. He didn't do something with that.
He knows he got a changeup that was over the middle of the plate. But it wasn't location, it was velocity that got him just off the baseball. That was his pitch.
He gone.
That wasn't.
8 strikeouts, and we're halfway home. No score. No runs, 1 hit for them. No runs, 1 hit for us. A couple of left-handers. They've got a couple of gems going for them.
Two pitches almost in exactly the same spot, and it's 1-1.
Michael Taylor on deck. Tyler Flowers in the hole. Ball hit hard right at him. Almost in his tracks. That's a hang whiff'em.
That's 2 at-bats, 2 line drives. So he's not being fooled at all by Kazmir, but he's 0 for 2 to show for it.
Here's Michael. Struck out in the 2nd inning. Takes first pitch strike. And that changeup is popped up. You know, an athlete is defined by the desire to be active and continue doing the things that you love. So visit Athletico.com and start defining your pain-free inner athlete today. Athletico, the official physical therapy provider of our White Sox. Athletico, better for everybody. Curveball strike. Tyler, a strikeout victim, leading off the 3rd. We won the opener 5-4 in 12 innings. They won game 2 11-2. Just an ugly game, one of the ugliest we played all season long. There's the line drive to the shortstop, and that'll retire the side. So a couple of line drives to pop up, and we're into the 6th. Callaspo then back to the top of the order with Crisp and Fold. Callaspo grounded out to Marcus Semien. Takes ball 1. High pop up. Stay in here. Michael. No, Jose, I mean. So 1 out. And here's Coco. He has walked and he has struck out.
Youngster most likely looking at next year's schedule, noticing that we are playing the National League Central.
And that's popped up. Brayu. 2 down. Quick. First of a doubleheader in Cleveland. Steve told you earlier, Indians won that game 8-2. Corey Kluber 15-9. Well, what a pitcher he's turned into. What a job the pitching coach over there, Mickey Callaway, has done. That whole staff. They're good. That was the best pitch series we've had against us all year long. We pitched well in that series, and we just got outpitched.
We managed 1 earned run in 3 games, 2 runs overall. It didn't matter starter or bullpen. Everybody came in throwing zeros.
Well, that game Kluber pitched against us. T.J. House started it, and Kluber, and then Carrasco. But that game Kluber pitched, you could have put the National League All-Star team out there, and they wouldn't have had a chance.
Carrasco was right there.
Oh, yeah.
And take a look at the leaders in strikeouts in the American League. David Price, 243. Max Scherzer, 232. Corey Kluber at 230. And the only thing stopping Chris Sale from being right there is the fact that where those other guys are making their 28th, 29th, maybe 30th start, Chris, on the other hand, is making his 24th start.
There's a rolling slider hit right at him, almost in his tracks. That did not take long at all. 1, 2, 3. He is retired the last. So here's Marcus. He struck out his only at bat. Takes first pitch strike. If you're just tuning in, there's no runs in this game and only 2 hits. 1 for them, 1 for us. Deep. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Yes. It is 1-0 Sox.
4th home run of the year for Marcus. He drives in his 19th run. And although he doesn't have many of them, just about each and every one has been a big one. This looked like a rolling breaking ball up in the zone. Our forward home run replay. Gomes goes back, looks up, and it's a 1-0 game.
And here is Adam Eaton. So all of our servicemen and women around the world and first responders picked a click. Marcus Semien comes through. Adam 0 for 2. First time up, he hit the ball hard, real hard to the shortstop. And second time up, popped up to left field. Talking about those first responders. And we will never forget 13 years ago today. We were in New York when that happened. We had just come in from Cleveland, got in the wee hours of the morning. There's into left field. Gomes. And there's out number one. But I got up fairly early. I get to bed about 4 o'clock. I waited for my bags to come up. Woke up fairly early, brushing my teeth, turned on the TV, and saw where the first plane had hit. And I'm thinking, what a tragedy. And then all of a sudden, I'm looking, and the second plane comes around. And we were 41st in Lexington. Never forget that. Got dressed real quick, started walking towards the towers. You could see the smoke. Wow. Sanchez. Oh for 2. And today, Major League Baseball Network will re-air the 9 innings from Ground Zero special developed by MLB Productions. Special lineup cards were used today and are going to be used tonight. Also, base jewels will be used for every game played on September 11th, 2014. That's popped up right side. Feynman has room, makes the catch, 2 down.
And that is the lineup card.
Yep.
As you can see, it's authenticated with the seal at the top.
Big rip by Abreu. That's one of the best swings he's had in the last few days. MLB proceeds of sales of caps will be donated to the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. Also the Pentagon Memorial and the Flight 93 near Shanksville, Pennsylvania Memorial. One and one to count. Jammed him, pops him up, and that's going to be a souvenir. Right on top of the dugout. Made a diving catch.
Well, sometimes you just have to play the carom well. Looks like a wide receiver. Goes up and gets a souvenir.
Almost broke his back. That's in the center field for a base. He just muscled that one. Kazmir just standing there with his hands on his hips and made a good pitch. And just that strength of Abreu beat him on it.
2-strike protection swing. You can't get your hands in much further than he got his hands in before taking it back up the middle.
Well, that's really one reason he's so special. That is, we talked about that in spring training. I mean, that's the first thing you noticed about him was how he could take the inside pitch, hit it hard, and keep it fair. And that is very, very unusual for a young, strong hitter. Javi has walked, singled, and he also has picked up a stolen base. Oh, and 2 the count. Next pitch will be number 80 for the 30-year-old southpaw. Got him upstairs, but the home run by Marcus Semien. We'll go to the 7th. We lead at 1-0.
Player for Houston as they at the building blocks there.
Well, there was an interesting situation with the Oakland club the day before they came here when they were playing Houston in the top of the 9th inning.
They gave one away.
Well, the situation was, though, that the first hitter walked. The next hitter walked. And then there was a man on, I believe, first and third as that ball hit into right field deep. Javi is there on the track, makes the catch. So Donaldson is retired. He is now 0 for 3. 1 out. That'll bring it Johnny Gomes. But then Bob Melvin walked Altuve intentionally. That just goes to show you the respect. And it was the right move.
Well, he had no idea that his usually dependable, with good control, Fernando Abad would walk.
We're going to walk the next 2.
Yes. he didn't. That was not part of the game plan.
No, it wasn't, but it was the right move. These moves in baseball are only good at the time they're made.
You make the right move, and then you trust the players you put in a position to execute whatever plan it is you have, and if they don't, nothing you can do.
Or to restate that, they're only good or bad at the time they're made. There have been an awful lot of good pitchers that have had situations where they have had a 2 or a 3-run lead or a 4-run lead. Last inning, as that ball hit hard, but we got a man there, and Gomes is retired, and they had their star coming to the plate, their stud, and they went right around him, walked him with the bases loaded.
Buck Showalter and Barry Bonds, when he was the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks, it actually worked out. The Diamondbacks won that game.
Well, if the score is 4-1 and you get the bases loaded and you got Barry Bonds going to play, 4-2 still a win. After you walk it.
True.
So here's Norris. He has struck out in line very hard to left field. Some managers have courage to do that. Other managers don't. And the ones that don't usually, as a rule, usually are afraid of the press. That's out of play.
Chris about ready to deliver pitch number 92, which is not a particularly bad total.
It's a good total for him right now with these strikeouts.
Assuming that he gets through this inning and keeps it 95 or below.
Nice pick by Simeon. Nice peg. And that'll retire the side. That is 17 in a row retired by our Chris Sale. Fifth inning. Connor Gillespie to lead it off. And he takes first pitch strike. Run on 3 hits, no errors for our guys. No runs on 1 hit, 1 error for their guys. Breaking ball, no. 1-2. And that pitch is going to be a souvenir left side. They started game 2 of that doubleheader in Cleveland. Indians won game 1 8-2 over Minnesota. Is no score. Bottom of the second in game 2. And another souvenir left side. Other action will show tonight. Boston at Kansas City. They're underway in San Francisco as they host the D-backs. And tonight, Pittsburgh at Philadelphia. Yankees hosting Tampa Bay in the Bronx. Washington playing the Mets in New York. LA at Texas. Miami at Milwaukee. And St. Louis was defeated this afternoon 1-0 by Cueto, who was 18-8 with a 2.15. Using that little Louis Tiant move.
Danny Cueto's just got great stuff. He's been entirely healthy. It's been an excellent year for him. Lance Lynn for the Cardinals threw very well, but not well enough.
18-8.
Lynn dropped to 15-9.
18-8 is pretty stout when you're talking about a club that's 7 games under 500. Up the middle, Callaspo can't handle it.
That'll be a base hit.
So a good start.
Callaspo going to his right. Not really known for his defense. This one hits off the heel of the glove on the hop. And the man who's hit the ball the hardest today in both at bats has been Viciedo.
Oh, he's just dead centered it twice. But you know the thing about Callaspo is that's the tag, is not known so much for his defense, but against us he has always played well with the leather and the lumber.
Well, that's the 98th error this year for Oakland. And with as good a pitching as they have, it's a testament to how good that pitching has been. The fact that the defense is okay, it's not real good. Dan Otero loosening in the bullpen.
Big rip by Tank. If you're just tuning in, lone run in this ball game, homer by Marcus Semien last inning. Well, the first month of the year, Marcus was almost uncanny in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. Another good rip. So 2-2 the count. Gave that one away and missed way up high. So a full count. The Tank has had some good rips. All those pitches from the middle out.
Oakland has a very favorable schedule once they get through the 3-game Seattle series. They fly from here to Seattle. Seattle, a very tough team, especially at home. Then they have Texas, Philadelphia, and they end with Texas, also 3 with the Angels.
Change up. Strike him out and throw him out. So the double play.
He's looking back to see if there's contact. And then Soto stumbles a bit. And they've got him out easily at second base.
Oh, and 1 to count to Taylor. Now the count 1-2. And 1-3. So we get the leadoff man aboard, strike him out, throw him out, another strikeout. We'll go to the 8th, leading 1-0. Slider back in the 2nd inning. He also has gone out to center. And that's right side souvenir time.
Bullpen up and going for the Sox. Double barreled action. Just in case Chris runs into some problems.
There's another base hit. Lowry leading off here in the 8th on the 95th pitch thrown by Sale.
Webb and Guerra. And both are most likely loose and ready to go. That's what Bobby Thigpen is telling Don Cooper, most likely. Billy Burns comes on. This is the second time he's pinch run in the series. He came on and stole a base in the 8th inning in a pinch running capacity in the opener, eventually scoring a run.
Change up, no. 1-0. And that changeup popped up. Alexei. Go check that. Gillespie. So 1 out, and that'll bring up Giovanni Soto. Has been to the plate twice, struck out twice. Once on a changeup, once on a call fastball.
One ground ball away from getting out of the inning, because Giovanni doesn't run well.
Bigger lead. Billy Burns, 5'9", 180 pounds. Out of Marietta, Georgia. Last year stole 74 bases. And that is out of play. Stole 54 at Potomac. He got called up to Harrisburg, where he sold 20. And he's a .312 career minor league hitter in 3 years.
And for Chris Sale, this is the longest he's gone in any game in a month. That was an 8-inning performance against the Giants.
That fastball grabs a strike in the count 1-2, and the next pitch he throws will be number 100. .74 bases. We got a good lead. He gone.
A great straight change, one of the best of the day, and the hat trick for Soto.
Because now with 9 strikeouts, and that'll bring up Callaspo, who was grounded to short and fouled out to Abreu. 1-0 the count. Two and 0 the count. Another big lead by Billy Burns. Three and 0. 74 stolen bases last year were the third most in the minor leagues, behind our Micah Johnson, who had 84, and Billy Hamilton, who had 75. There's the strike. Two out and the 3-1 pitch. That is the second man that he has walked. And here comes Robin.
I don't think Robin is going to motion to the pen yet. I think he's going to go out and show Chris the respect to ask him if he's got enough left to take down Chris.
Well, he's thrown 105, and we know he's thrown more than that a lot of his starts this year. And I think Robin mainly is just going to go out, give him a little breather.
I'm not sure that much that he could say if Chris had a choice that would have taken him out of this ball game.
I love managers who will let a pitcher talk him into staying in the game. I love managers who do that. I hate managers who will come out and all of a sudden first thing they do is say, first step they go to the point to the pen. I mean, not in all cases, but in a lot of, when you got your stud out there.
Yeah, this is your number one.
That's it.
You got to show that you have the confidence in him if he has not run out of gas. Now, it might not work out, but the point is, Chris Sale's going to be here for a long time, and he's going to be the number one as long as he's here.
So here's Coco. He has walked, struck out, and popped up to Abreu. Slider. It's almost like a reset button when a manager goes out there a lot of times in that situation. You go out there and you just give him a little breather, and you push that reset. You say something to push that reset button. That fastball at 94. Two on, two out. That's by him at 95. So the count 1-2.
He just reached back whatever he had left in the tank. He threw it by Chris. Chris was a better hitter from the left side, but more power from the right side. Down to his last strike.
Slow low, a hard high right here. 49. Ball hit. Sanchez has got it, and they'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the eighth. It is 1-0 White Sox. All right, Chuck, thank you very much. As we're in the bottom of the 8th inning here, first pitch to Tyler Flowers, taken for a ball. Tyler's 0 for 2, a strikeout, and then he hit a soft line drive to short.
Got a couple of changes as Andy Perino comes in the game to play shortstop. Eric Sogard stays in the game to play second, the former Arizona State Sun Devil.
And the count 1-1 to Flowers. That was pitch number 102 for Casimir. A little bit low.
A little bit of a break.
Yeah, that had some of the zone.
An insurance run would come in awfully handy right about now.
Way out in front. 1 out.
Just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And here's our Miller moment. And it is the man coming to bat, Marcus Semien, in the 6th inning, his 4th home run of the year. And that is all the scoring today.
Good rip. And the count evens at 1. Outfield around to the right, gap out there in left center. Lays off that one at 92. Into right field.
As we promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag Chicago Fan Photo for a chance to be shown on our broadcast, brought to you by AT&T. There's a young man enjoying his day at the ballpark.
Here's Adam. He's 0 for 3. He's due. Hit the ball hard his first trip to the shortstop. Takes that breaking ball off the plate. Next 2 times went out to Johnny Gomes and left. For them in the 9th, just like Abner designed it. They will have the 2nd, 3rd, 4th place hitters coming up.
They're going to face Jake Petrichka. Chris will have gone 8 innings, 8 shutout innings with just 2 hits, walked only 2, fanning 9.
Oh, nice.
1-2 the count.
What a performance today. Seemingly just about every day for Chris Sale is Jake Petrichka, who came on with one of his most impressive 9ths last night Going to have to do it again today.
That breaking ball flipped out in the center field for Coco Crisp. And that'll retire the side. Here we go. Strap it down.
A 1-run lead on for the 60th time. Last night he notched his 12th save in 15 attempts. And he's handled the right-handers very well. He's going to have to deal with Sam Full to lead it off, and you got to play in at the corners.
Full 0 for 3. He's popped out to first, struck out, and lined out to center field. First pitch up high. 1-0 the count.
And you would think it'll be Moss for Gomes hitting third in the inning.
Two and 0.
Fold with 19 stolen bases in 23 attempts.
Both he and Crisp 19 for 23. Solid single to center. So good speed aboard.
That fastball drifted out over the plate. And the speedster aboard, carrying with him a tying run.
Well, in that scenario, that's the thinking man's base hit right there, because you know the fastball's coming. You sit dead red on it. And Adam Dunn has come out on deck. To hit for Gomes.
Jake faced Dunn last night, leading off the ninth, struck him out on a good straight change.
There's the strike, and he didn't get it. Alexei. Yes! Nice turn by Alexei, and Sanchez 2 down. Simeon, I should say.
That ball right back up the middle. Marcus with a good flip, the bare hand and throw in one motion, and a huge double play. 1 out away with Adam Dunn stepping in.
Beautiful double play turn right there. So here is Adam. Hitting at 225, 22 homers. Fouls that one down. And 60 knocked in. Oh, that's exciting.
Before they had a chance to run with Fold, I'm very happy with the speed of Donaldson that they let him swing away. Couldn't have worked out any better.
Count evens at 1.
That went inside. Good call by Buckner.
3-1. Derek Norris on deck.
Now we'll see who comes out to pin front for Adam, carrying with him the tying run. Nick Punto.
Now Moss has come out on deck. Hit for Perino if it gets to that, as here is Norris. He's 0 for 3. He struck out, lined hard to left field, and then grounded out sharply to short. Takes first pitch strike at 95.
Outfield has to play a little deeper than normal, and Avasio looking over in the dugout to say, where do you want me? And they're motioning for him to move back.
And lined hard. Two out, 0-2 the count.
Tried to bury a fastball in on his hands, kept it down and out of the zone, and
good try.
It's just close enough, but not hittable if Norris gets over anxious, which he didn't. Looks like another sinker.
He gone, and this ball game is over. So Chris Sale catches a break. He has a 1-0 lead. That one run holds up for him. And what a game by Chris Sale.
Chris Sale went 8, gave up just 2 hits, both to Lowry, with 2 walks and 9 strikeouts, and Chris was in control from the beginning. The slider was great. The fastball was popping. The changeup came to him about the 3rd inning, and then it was clear sailing after that. The A's really didn't have much of a shot at him. Mounted a problem for him in the 8th. Chris got out. That was a ground ball by Chris.